Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 Morning News.
Good morning to you on this Friday, June 21st. I'm Taylor Stewart.
I'm Tom Rogers. I'm getting like a little bit of suntan from the dress over there. It's bright.
I hope so. It's supposed to radiate the sun like the sun's radiating today. Absolutely. Grab the coffee. I'm Taylor Stewart because we're going to saddle in for a bit of rain today. Let's jump right into your Sunday morning forecast. It is the final day of June. I'm Taylor Stewart. Let's get to our big story of the day, the weather. Got to be real with you. It is a really good day for some ice cream. Let's get right to your forecast. Meteorologist Amy Aronson with why we would love the ice cream, a cold drink or anything today because it's hot.
It is hot. I love how you just like pulled a spoonful of it out of under the desk there. That should be every day.
Right, as early as 10 a.m. Today, the Supreme Court is set to rule on whether former President Trump has immunity from criminal prosecution with respect to the January 6th riots. Now, here's what's at stake, though. A precedent that could broaden the terms of presidential immunity for years to come. Guys, this war is truly just getting started. The utter destruction and devastation in the region cannot be understated. Now, Israel's military going on the offense. Hey, let's just call this the trial of first. The first former president to face a criminal trial, now the first to be convicted of a whopping 34 felonies.
Running and scared and afraid.
And playing out in real time today, we did see several students who were either coming to school or leaving the school building. If I walk you down here, thank you so much, Mr. Brown. If I walk you down here, just over here, over in this corner, we've seen several students go inside. We believe it's the gymnasium. Parents have come by, and they're all just trying to figure out what happened here today. As Mr. Ebron just said, this is the day of celebration. A lot of big games happening today. Students came out really ready to get the weekend started, but before the bell even rang, here on North Smallwood, that shooting occurred. So we're still trying to gather the latest information. We do know 3 people were hit. One person, at least, we know had severe injuries in the chest and in the hip, sustained bullet wounds. And we know EMTs had to do chest compressions out here. This is a very tense situation. It's unfolding as we speak. And as we get more of the history, you kind of get an idea of where students' minds might be this morning. We'll continue to follow these updates and bring you the very latest as they come about.
Taylor, I have a quick question for you. You know, we saw the Baltimore school saying parents don't come, the kids are inside the building. Has there been any update to that? Is anyone coming or going from the school now?
Look, parents are doing what they please, Megan. I'll be real with you. If you were a mom and heard there was a shooting at your child's school, what would you do? This becomes an interesting political conversation to me, and I think to many people, because it's about money, it's about power, it's become about race, and how we make major political decisions here in Baltimore. What are your thoughts, first, on the mayor's comments that we just heard? There are whispers right now that you are considering a run for Congress. What can you tell us about that? Lights, camera, action. Hollywood is coming right here to Charm City. And if you're thinking about breaking into the biz or you've been wanting an opportunity, waiting for one, hey, this is your chance here.
Check me out.
I want to know. So you have a residency in Vegas right now, and so you really are bringing it with the comedy on the stage. What are some things we can expect to see, some freshness from you?
Tonight?
Tonight. The federal partners are involved in this. The FBI is investigating. They're saying there seems to be no terrorism threat from this, but it's just too early. You could hear from Paul Wakefield, the transportation secretary, very conservative in his responses as they continue the search and rescue effort.
We did see the power outage on that boat that you pulled up on the smart board over there, a reporter asking about that.
And they've got sonar in there, vehicles that they're looking for. It really means they're up against not only the weather, the time, the span of the area that they have to search to try to find these people. And 7 is a rough estimate, right? They just don't know yet. And that's a lot of what we're hearing now, is that if you look at these extraordinary images, just so much to learn and a lot of investigating that has to take place in recovery efforts, number one. Mahomes has been to the Super Bowl before. He's got that on his belt. But Brock Purdy, this is his first time. He's going to be on that big stage. How do you think they'll stack up today? And we're heating up Monday morning's hot spot at BD Provisions. We'll tell you how the coffee's brewing here for zero waste. Come on in. Well, look, let's just do one thing here. I have narcotics and explosives, for example, hypothetically. Right. And the dog's coming after me, so I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going.
Let's see.
Oh, he's my dog.
Bulls fans say we are in it to win it! Can we get one roar from the crowd behind you? Can you pump them up for us? Let's pump up the crowd.
Can we get going? Let's go! Let's go!
I would shout with you, but I Let's go. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We know that the kickoff is at 3 o'clock this Sunday afternoon, and you can catch all of the action. After the Ravens game, you can actually watch the NFC Championship right here on Fox 45. The Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers meet for a spot in Super Bowl 58. They will meet the Ravens there, saying that confidently. That begins at 6:30 tonight. Whether it's President Biden or former President Donald Trump in the White House next year, the path to get there is having a big impact on the local races right in our state. We take a closer look at the election's effect on one of the most hotly contested races right here in Maryland. In his first sit down since the presidential debate,
I was exhausted. I didn't listen to my instincts in terms of preparing, and I had a bad night.
the president trying to drum up support and convince voters he is fit to lead.
It's a decision for, I think, Joe Biden and his family, first of all, and then for the Democratic Party, second of all, to try to make the decision if they think he's the best person to represent them.
I support him, support what he's done for us, that bipartisan infrastructure bill that's helping us to build our country.
Relative to the presidential debate, he did pretty well, but in an absolute sense, he's really not ready to be president, not only for the next 4 years, but for the next 4 months.
While a growing list of those in his own party ask that very question, Senate candidate Angela Alsobrook says there's just too much at stake to lose focus.
The presidents are now above the law. This Supreme Court that is radical, that has lost the faith of the people, is what this is what the Senate had the ability to confirm further Supreme Court justices, the same ones that rolled back Roe, who decided that women's health decisions and women's reproductive freedom should be rolled back.
She's charging ahead in Maryland's Senate race, currently leading in the polls with strong support from a very popular governor, Wes Moore. But her contender, former Governor Larry Hogan, knows all too well how quickly things can change.
One thing we know for sure is that 120 some days is an eternity in politics, and there's so much going on, really, frankly, on both sides that we have no idea, and the only thing that really matters is how people vote in November.
The tenor of the senatorial race tends to be more understandable. It tends to be less harsh.
Yet, Maryland's high-stakes matchup could swing party control of the U.S. Senate. For Larry Hogan, his vocal opposition to former President Trump could pose a problem for him among the Republican base, despite a recent endorsement from the former president.
So you're endorsing him?
Well, nobody's asked me that, but essentially I would be endorsing him, yeah.
The question is whether Hogan's background, his long time in politics, as being governor for 2 terms, whether that can overcome it.
Hogan would need to galvanize Democratic support in this matchup, much like he did in the 2018 and 2022 gubernatorial races.
Unless the Dan Cox Republicans stay home and just want to show Hogan that he can't get away with being moderate, I think it's going to be a really close race.
It may be just day one, but let me tell you where the flock knows we're headed. Where are we going? Where are we going?
Super Bowl! To the Super Bowl! The Super Bowl!
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Oh, it's Houston, Texas. Like, they can't stand up to us. Like, come on now.
But the flock has always been a confident bunch.
Odell Beckham, touchdown. Zay Flowers, touchdown. Calling it.
Diehards.
Been out here since 6 o'clock this morning, baby. Hey, this Raven Nation, we here, we live.
Rain or shine.
It was raining when we got here. It don't stop us. Real Raven fans do real Raven things.
Hyped. Very hyped.
Because their man is back.
Lamar Jackson, the best of the nation. Best quarterback ever, man.
He's the best quarterback in the league, and that's really all there is to it.
Jackson hasn't played since last December when he exited the game early with a knee injury. But as tens of tailgaters fire up the grills, share a six-pack. Think of Sunday's season opener against the Texans like a family reunion.
That's what's important. Be family, be happy.
With a whole lot of birds ready to clinch some wins.
Let's get it, Flock. Let's
We here for the upset. Let's go, Houston.
And remind the entire league